Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George here. Today we're taking a look at something we don't get a whole bunch of. Entry-level Forester. So this is a 2023 Forester. It's the 2.5i, just base model. So visually, immediately off the bat, how can you tell it's an entry-level? Well, we end up with steel wheels and hubcaps, kind of like a base model or a convenience Outback. We have lots of people that just swap their winter tires onto these and use them as their winters. They buy a nice set of alloys for spring, summer, fall. This is in the crystal white pearl. The other way you can tell it's an entry-level model, no fog lights. You just have a cap there. Now you can get an accessory fog light kit for them. It's genuine Subaru, but they don't come with them from factory. It's that same LED steering responsive headlight, very, very bright, angular, that new front bumper style that we got with the 23s, the refresh. Front grille, black, along with black gloss wings off the side of the logo, but very aggressive, boxy styling on the Forester. You've got these big kind of shoulders on the hood. It does give you a good idea of where your corners are in your vehicle, which I quite like. But crystal white pearl, statistically white is the safest color to drive, even here in Canada with all the snow we get, which I thought was kind of odd, but it makes sense because it doesn't blend in with the road. Now at the rear here, visually, there is no spoiler off the back. It's kind of a naked hatch. Still get your third brake light, of course, but it does look a little bit different than the other Foresters. In the back of the Forester, there's a ton of room. With that big boxy square rear end, you get a lot of depth, a lot of height, a lot of width. So storage is not an issue in these Foresters. We have grocery bag hooks on the sides. So you hook the loop of your grocery bag over, and when you take corners, they don't go tumbling across to the other side. We also have a 12-volt power point, even in the entry level, for any charging needs. And we have nice hard mount physical tie downs, one in each corner. So 4 hard mount physical tie downs. Underneath this false floor, we've got storage. We've got part of our spare tire kit. And underneath this tray, we have our jack and the lug nut wrench and our eye bolt for recovering other people out of the ditch or hanging hammocks, whatever works for you. We do also have this little hook, which, I mean, good wall camping. In addition to that hook, we get these new, they call them grocery bag hooks. I don't know if I'd hang anything on them while I'm driving, but good coat hooks. I mean, max of 3 kilograms or 6.6 pounds, so not a lot of weight can go on those. In the second row, as you'd expect with that SUV styling and tall roofline, you got a lot of height, a lot of headroom, a lot of legroom. You can fit 3 passengers comfortably across in here. This is black cloth, really easy to keep clean, very durable. We do have access to our anchors for child seats if you need them. Even have one off the middle there if you're gonna set the child seat offset in the center. We have a little storage cubby on the back of the center console. These switches are where you would have heated seats on the higher end models and USB ports for charging. Map back pocket on the rear of the front passenger seat. We have bottle holders with a little bit of storage. Soft touch armrest, soft touch door panel. So this is nice. This is a really nice feature. You get a lot of value even in the base model. Power windows, gray/silver contrast stitching. Child locks if you need it. Now, this right here, this is designed to be textured. This is supposed to be used as a step, as opposed to standing on the tire that sits inside the fender. So if you're loading something onto the roof rails, if you have crossbars or something to that effect, makes it easier. It's a much sturdier step than standing on the tire. You'll get a better purchase standing there. Now, we do also have this little silver bar sticking out of the bottom of the door that locks in there. And that's your side impact crash bar. So it helps reduce the chance of egress into the passenger cab in the event of a side collision. And something that not a lot of people notice with these roof rails, tie down slots, front and rear, which is a pretty big difference. You're not just wrapping them around here and having your ropes or your straps slide up and down. Very limited here, very secure. Up front, driver door card looks very, very similar to that of the rear door card. Soft touch materials, the contrast stitching. We've got window lock, power windows. The front driver window is auto. Power window or mirror adjustment. Then we have this nice, I don't want to call it faux carbon fiber trim, textured honeycomb trim. I think it goes on the dash as well. A little bit more storage in addition to a bottle holder. The seat is the same seating material, that black cloth, contrast stitching. Headrests are adjustable, tilting. And the seat is height adjustable, so you can pump it down, you can pump it up and raise it. You probably can't see it moving because the camera's shaking as I do that, but I was just moving it down. So you can still adjust it for drivers of varying heights, leg lengths, arm lengths. By the driver's left knee, we have the ability to turn off steering responsive headlights. We've got the ability to turn off the auto start stop, and we have the scroll wheel to control the brightness of your gauges. On the inside of the Forester, steering wheel adjustment, bottom left of the steering column, pull down, and we have both tilt and telescopic, so you can adjust it for drivers of varying arm lengths, leg lengths, depending how you like to sit. I have it out all the time because I don't like having my arms straight out like a race car driver. The base model Forester is the only Forester that comes with an actual key. You've still got keyless access, unlock, lock, trunk unlock, and panic, but we have a physical standard ignition, which is cool. Some people really like it. If they want base model, this is still very well equipped, but you've got some base model features like the key. Left-hand side of the steering wheel, we have our Bluetooth and audio controls, volume, switch from AM to FM to satellite to CD. Yes, I said CD player. Info will change our small little display up there. I'll show you that in a minute. This switches between our presets. This does our volume. We've got these arrows here, and that changes our small little center display. So right now it shows our digital speedometer. Got time, how long it shut off at intersections and how many milliliters of fuel it saved. You can change settings, which comes in handy for things like changing the clock for daylight savings on the higher end models. Fuel economy for trip A, trip B, how long we've been traveling, or how far we've been traveling and what amount of time, and back to digital speedometer. Most people do enjoy the digital speedometer. I like it in addition to the analog on the right. Now, headlights, defaults to auto, which is nice. You can turn them on full. They will shut off the headlights and taillights when you shut off the Forester if you have them on this. Auto is great. Trip reset right there, hidden behind the turn signals if you're not looking for it, or if you haven't watched my videos. Right hand side, we've got our adaptive cruise and our lane centering. Now, both of these use these 2-color stereo EyeSight cameras, EyeSight 4.0, the most up-to-date Subaru EyeSight system available in the Forester. So they're looking for pedestrians, cyclists, vehicles, road lines, and they'll do things like automatic emergency braking, lane centering, and then the adaptive cruise control. So when I turn on the cruise, you'll notice that there's 4 bars ahead of the Forester there. That is the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you'll follow at if you catch up while using cruise, and you can decrease it all the way down to 1 bar. So it's a ratio. 100 kilometers an hour, 4 bars, roughly 150 to 180 feet behind the vehicle ahead of you. Great thing. I love it. I didn't think I'd be a huge fan of it. It makes a pretty significant difference, really. And then this is your lane centering. So I just turned that on. You get the little image of the steering wheel, and I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's those gray lines beside the distance markers for the cruise. I've just turned it off, just turned the back on. You can see they're illuminated gray. If those illuminate white on whichever side, that means that the cameras can see the road lines on the corresponding side. And above 60 kilometers an hour, it'll actually give you gentle steering input to help keep you in the middle of your lane. Great feature for the second half of a long day of driving. I don't recommend it around town because it's not, the lines in our town don't stay painted all that well, and it can be a little counterintuitive. You do get a little bit of fight, but it's easy to overcome if you want. Intelligent and sport driving modes. So you'll see down here where it says P for park, it says I for intelligent. If I press S, it goes to sport mode. And that yellow line's a little bit more aggressive than the intelligent blue line, just how fast you accelerate and how you'll sit at a higher RPM. You'll go faster sooner, essentially. And you don't have to be pulled over to do that. It's great to do on the fly if you want to pass. Our little information screen up here, we can cycle that middle one. We've got average speed, nothing, estimated distance to empty, fuel economy. So you kind of get a small amount of options to look at. We also have the outside thermometer and the clock. And then we have the little plus and minus sign just to the right there to adjust our clock should we need to for things like daylight savings. Or if you want to set your clock a few minutes fast so you're always on time. Below that, we have our little infotainment screen. It is touchscreen, but we also have physical buttons here. I can just simply touch. It takes me to the radio, press the home button. Apps, you have wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Subaru Starlink, SiriusXM Travel Link, because you do get a 3-month travel satellite radio with this. We have our CD player slot down here at the bottom. Physical volume knob, physical tuning knob, physical buttons, switch tracks. And this is our backup camera when you put it in reverse. And I can clean the backup camera from inside the car, which seems kind of gimmicky, but it is the best thing ever. Love it here. It's great in our winters. Or muddy springs. Below that, we have our 4-way flashers. We've got climate control. We've got where we want the airflow being directed. We've got fan strength, along with recirc. And then we've got our temperature, and then AC, of course. So something a lot of people don't know, if AC comes on its own, even when you've got the temperature set to the max warmth, just leave it. It's moving moisture around so you don't fog up. It's a great feature. So if you've got dogs or kids and they're breathing hard in the back, turn on the AC and it'll help dissipate. It's not going to alleviate all of the buildup of condensation or ice on the windshield or on the windows, but it's a big help. Below that, we have our storage cubby with 2 USBs, an aux port, and a 12-volt power point. These are where you plug in for wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Automatic CVT transmission. We've got drive. We've got low gear. We've got heated seats in the entry-level Forester. So quite a lot of value in this vehicle. Almost all of our vehicles have heated seats. There's a very, very few exceptions that don't come with them as standard. Parking brake, you pull up to turn on, push down, doesn't go off because my foot's not on the brake. And when I don't have my foot on the brake, it says depress the brake pedal. So I put my foot on the brake and I push down and off it goes. I've got auto vehicle hold. And when I turn that on, I get a little green AVH up top there. That's a brake holder. So it's great for construction, drive-through, or rush hour traffic. So if I'm driving along, we'll see if I can get it to trigger. It does require a little bit of driving before it'll kick in. It's not going to do it. Normally, under ideal circumstances, that little icon will pop up underneath the green AVH there. And if you look in the sun, you can see the icon right underneath it there. When that icon pops up, you can take your foot off the brake. It'll hold the brake for you, and you just tap the gas or the brake, and off you go. We've got the ability to turn off traction control just by twisting this dial to the left, and that pops up on the left-hand side there. It says off. And then X mode. So X mode is like 4x4 low in a pickup. I simply press down. X mode pops up. I get the little rough terrain icon right there. And it's only designed for speeds of under 40 kilometers an hour. If you exceed 40 kilometers an hour, it kicks out and goes back to regular all-wheel drive, but it locks the all-wheel drive power distribution 50-50. Your transmission gearing's lower. Your throttle response isn't quite as snappy. It's good for off-road stuff. And then I simply push down to disable it, or to go back to regular. And then for traction control, because it's off again, you can see that, I just twist it to the right. So I just twist it to the right to turn traction control back on. Got dual cup holders, a little bit of storage. This armrest is soft touch. And we've got very deep storage. There's a 12-volt outlet in there and a place to run cords through so you don't crush them when you have your armrest down. Regular mirror, you've got 2 adjustment points. You've got the regular, and then you've got this ball up here, and you can actually move the mirror. So I do find that lots of tall people find that this mirror sits down too low and it's in the way. You can move it pretty high up there, and you still get lots of adjustment. Up top, we have the ability to turn off lane sway. So if you cross lines without signaling, the Forester is going to beep at you. If you don't like that, or you drive in the winter, it's simply press and hold. And you get that chime, and then on the bottom left it has off. Same thing to turn it back on, press and hold, and it's back and active. The one on the right, that is automatic emergency braking. That's the one that'll apply the brakes if it thinks you're going to hit something with a 50-kilometer speed variance or less. It's designed for vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists, but I have had someone tell me it stopped them from hitting a moose. You receive an insurance discount here in BC with that, so I don't recommend you turn that off. Got the ability to have the lights turn on when you set it to door, or it can turn that off. They are LEDs, and I can just turn those on by pressing on them. We've got sunglass storage. It is padded. We've got card holders on both of the sun visors. Mirror, no light. And then I can fold that across and extend that if the sun is in my way, which would have been nice earlier when I was driving. So that is a quick look at the 2023 Subaru Forester base, or the 2.5i, depending where you're at and what they call it. The most entry-level model Forester that there is. Still very, very well equipped. I'll give you guys that quick final walk around of it. It's powered by a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder boxer engine. You get 182 horsepower and you have 8.7 inches of minimum ground clearance, along with, of course, Subaru's full-time symmetrical all-wheel drive. Thank you for watching my quick walkthrough of the 2023 Subaru Forester base model. I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George. If you guys have any questions about this vehicle behind me, any of the tech in it, or any of the vehicles in our lineup, put them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. And if you have any ideas you want to see in a future video, put those there too. See if I can accommodate them. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.